I have nothing to hide. So, uh, okay, my quick background. So I'm originally a computer engineer. So I used to program full stack. I coded all my uh, startups, MVPs, end to end myself.
Nice.
But I'm not the greatest programmer. I think at my peak, I would consider myself as an intermediate. I did get offer from Google when I was young, but I never consider myself as the best programmer. I know so many brilliant people in that space. So, and I became founder, and I found my expertise in product more. So, since late 20s, over 10 years now, I founded 3 legit companies and then many projects along the way that failed. The first one failed. The second one, we bootstrapped to 1 mil AR second year, and then it's still going actually. I decided to leave with options in my hands, but the company is still going. Eventually, we got into Techstars, we raised a few million, and yeah, so that's a story. The third one is interesting.
Sorry, and you was a CEO in this company, or what was it?
No, I was a CPO there.
A CPO, got it. Okay.
There, but I did develop the whole thing.
Cool.
But it was a half hardware, half software, and the CTO there was expertise in hardware, so I did all the software part.
Got it.
The third company was AI ML chatbot, like mental health chatbot company. It was way before ChatGPT, but same story. I built the MVP myself. We got pretty lucky. After 2.5 years, we got acquired. So that's that. With that story company, we also had opportunity to join YC, but we dropped out in the middle. We didn't find much value. I already had Techstars experience, and then the other founder went through 500 startups. And then when we went to YC, they really forced us to become a Delaware company, which we didn't want to. So we kind of dropped out. And since then, I've been in early series startups for so long. I wanted to go back out to the corporate world because something I found is, so being in the industry for a long time, you get to have a lot of friends who's also founders, right? And they are like Series D, Series E, super successful founders over 5-10 years. And every single company I see then is when you go through from employee 50 to 300, like typically after Series A, you exponentially grow your team. The company shit show. Like you go through this huge chaos, and I was curious of why. And that's why I decided to go back out to corporate world. So I joined a public company called Zero, cloud accounting software. And I started as a PM. I was there for about 2 years. When I left, I became their director. They say it's the fastest promotion. So that's pretty good. But yeah, it was time for me to jump out again. The corporate is too slow for me. And I came across a founder, insurance tech, that they were looking for their first product. So now I'm working as a head of product at SeriesA, insurtech company. Funny enough, about 8 months ago, the person who was leading engineering also left. And the company offered me to take that over. So I'm actually head of engineering as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that you know how to code.
That's my current story. And I'm always interested in doing something on the side. So past 2-3 years, I was cooking something to start a company again. And then I realized I actually don't want to be in the typical startup world. I've had enough success, and it's a lot of blood that sucks out of me. So I took a sabbatical. Like for 1 year, I didn't do anything. And then about 3-4 months ago, I got interested in this building public indie hacker community. No, about 3 months ago.
3 months. Sorry. I was thinking 3 years.
And then I think there is something there, really. Like I also worked on the investment side, like on the VC side, helping out. And I really think there is something here in this market. So I wanted to get started as well. So I barely started my side project as indie hacker way, not VC backed up way. And that's when I started Twitter. I was like, okay, I need to build my brand. That's another thing that I realized, that in our generation, building a personal brand is huge. It's a must. It's
Yes.
like an investment, right? Sooner you start, the better it is. And I started way too late because I have no social presence at all. I'm just very well known in my circle, like
Mhm.
VC startup world. So that's why I started Twitter and engaging a lot these days.
Cool.
And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, that's my story so far. I came across your profile and your team. And I was actually quite impressed. Like, obviously, you guys are like 5-star team. You guys know how to execute, but also the energy level is crazy, and it's really hard to come by. Like it's at the end of the day, it's all about people, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
and yeah, the new branding you guys did, and how you guys engage and interact on Twitter, the energy level is just through the roof. So I was very impressed. What I found interesting though is I thought Paralect was a dev shop, a big dev shop, and then maybe you have your foot in that nano fund. That's what I realized. Just 20 minutes ago, I actually visited Paralect website for the first time, and I realized maybe you guys are doing actually a full pivot. Are you guys investing or trying to become a VC? Like, right? I was like, what is this? I need to ask you about this. So,
Cool,
but
cool. Man, yeah, it
yeah,
was smart to figure out all it by yourself because it's really confusing and it's a lot of information. So people, uh, yeah, can follow. I mean, even inside our company, they don't understand what's going on. But yeah, it's quite impressive story, man. Really cool to get you on the call, and I really resonate like with your story about like personal brand. So that's what I found 2 years ago, and I was really suffering for more than 2 years, like building this, and I wasn't successful until like a few months ago. So I kind of like was building in like for no one. I had like little support in Twitter, but I was really like motivated to solve this, like to find like why it doesn't work, like how do I make it work. So I was like writing a lot of articles, like creating videos, like testing different formats, like trying something aggressive, trying something educational. Um, it's something kind of works, something not, but I didn't have like any good traction on this like content. First time I got traction was on Reddit in November. I just posted an article like in the evening, like without big like overthinking. I was just sitting on the couch and I wrote this article like how do you like launch MVP today. And it's all about like what you're saying, like don't build, like validate, like launch landing page, figure out only one feature. And it went viral. I've got like around 100K views on this article and a lot of comments. And that's when I figure out, okay, probably I'm not a psycho, probably it worth something. So I start to like repurposing all this stuff and posting on Twitter, like here's my success, and also like recorded a YouTube video. And I figure out when I like start posting actual like wins, that's when like people start following. So yeah, I started doing it more and more. And the cool thing that now all this content, like from like 2 years, it started working for me, and people like, wow, you create so much. I just like using all this old content, and that's the trick. So that's like kind of our story. But yeah, as for Paralect, you got it absolutely right. So we originally were a dev shop, but not a typical dev shop also. So our goal always was to find partners that we can like work for a long time with. So rather not find like 100 clients, but rather find like really cool entrepreneurs and like follow their journey and grow with them. And for with some of our clients, like we really did like a weird decision, like we let them like not pay us for a few months, and they had like hundreds of debt, and it was risky for our company to exist. But that's what helped them eventually to succeed, and that's what we figure out. And one of the companies that we work with, it's actually exited with $1.1 billion. It's a health tech product. So that's when it worked. And we figure out that.
Question: how does it work? Do you guys actually take shares? Like, how
Yeah,
do
so
you?
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so it was all like cash based. So it's like a dev shop, or like per hour and stuff. But when we figure out that we are much more than that, so we're already much more powerful, and we built our own products. It's called RoboMongo. It's a shell for MongoDB. It was led by our CEO Dmitry. He also like coded it in C++, like back in the years. And it was allowed more than 1 million times. And we also like launched a crowdfunding company for this. So it was kind of us thing, but like only like a few years ago, we realized that we can take actually equity for this and we can like play this game. So that was the reason to go public for me, because we didn't have any marketing. And I decided, okay, let's launch a program. So we built for free, but we take equity. And we needed to find 2 founders. And I just didn't know what to do. And I was scared, but I had this deadline. So I just announced it, recorded video, and actually got like founders that way. And we started associated with like VC world.
Do you only build the MVP, or do you become their technical team all the way?
Yeah, technical team. So our goal is again to work as long as we can. We're not trying like to be intrusive. Some of them just hire CTO and leave us. And if we have equity, it's good. Like we didn't lose anything. So yeah, we're trying to work together, but often they hire CTO and they leave. Often they just keep working with us. So there are different startups.
That's so interesting, and you guys are doing the right move, I think. It's actually, do you guys still work as a dev shop as well?
Yeah, so I can say, so we're trying now to make an offer that will be more like we will fix your startup, something like this, like rather we will fix a startup or we will launch your startup. So it's like 2 target audience, and that's like this like first audience, we will fix a startup. It's something that I want to discuss with you.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, actually, I wanted to write a post, like Twitter thread, long thread,
Nice.
geared towards you, because like come across in you and your team kind of brought me a memory, and it's a story that I can share with the general public to inspire them. And I wanted to share, but I'm actually quite spread thin all the time, so I didn't have a chance to write it. But like I want to share it right now. You are already pivoted, so you're going in a different direction, but something to consider, or even just, you know, it's an interesting story. So I forgot their name, but it was quite a while ago, like 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. They were a dev shop just like Paralect, and they've been around for a long time, like over a decade. They had like 100 employees. They were huge, right? They were doing like 10 million ARR, 12 million ARR, right? And then what they did, and all of a sudden they came out into the VC world. The first raise they did over 50 million, which was crazy, right? So here's their story. Here's what they did, and I think it was brilliant. What they did was, for any dev shop, and I work with a lot of dev shop, right, as a head of product and everything. What ends up happening is, more you do it, you end up building a lot of components for yourself. So you are reusing a lot of things to make it faster, right? What they found is, what was really painful from the customer perspective was that there are so many dev shops, but you need to get on the call and you don't really know, how long it will take, or it's quite expensive as well, right? It's hard to get a quote, really, right? And that's where people drop off.
Yes.
And so they said 2 things. They wanted to decrease the pricing, and then they wanted to guarantee delivery. And what they did was brilliant. What they did was they niched down what they built as a dev shop. Take example as a dashboard, right? And it was before the no-code tools. And probably they raised 50 million to become no-code tools. But I think there's still value in this. So hear me out. No-code tools like framers and everything is geared toward landing pages, like simple websites. If I still want to build a dashboard, like no-code tools doesn't work really well. I still have to look for dev shops. But dashboards are pretty standardized if you think about it, right? So what they did is they actually componentized so many things that goes into the dev shop dashboard, and then they came up with multiple templates. Then they actually built a website builder in their landing page. And then what you do is you select the templates, which dashboard only have like 10 variations at the max, right? Menus are always on the left, right? Color scheme. And then you had a checkbox that, okay, I want Facebook integration, I want Stripe integration. And then as you add them, like it's your shopping, it actually adds the pricing right then. And after I click through, it gives me the exact quote of how much it will cost me and how much time it takes. And And the price is actually a lot cheaper too, because the how the dev shop set it up was they completely changed their process in a way that even a junior dev can just pull in all these components and just stitch it up. And then whatever the 10%, 20% of the customization they need to do, which you also charge, is the actual work. You know what I mean? It's like building your own boilerplate, right? And then that gives you the ability to build the front end to create this website builder.
Yes.
And I saw their numbers. Their growth as a dev shop was through the roof. Right? Like, it was cheaper, faster, and I get to see how much it will cost right off the bat, right? Like, that was really a move. So that's a story that I wanted to share in my Twitter. And I was like, I should ping Paralect when I write this, because you guys seem like a dev shop. But interesting story, right? Like, it's brilliant. Like, they nailed down on what the customer's problem or pain point is, right? And it was brilliant. So
yeah, it's very resonates with what we are doing. Yeah, send me their way. I saw a couple of companies like this, even from Belarus. There are a company, Acquia, and they built a UI bakery tool. So it's just like a no-code tool, but it's cool. But did you also see like Momentum?
Momentum? Oh yes, I see that.
So that's our thing. So that's exactly what you describing. So imagine like we met with founders and we started discussing their problem, and they don't even have a landing page. We say, dude, launch landing page. It's the first step. That's where we point. That's where we have some data to discuss. So instead of like always saying, because yes, we can say like go to Webflow or like Framer to launch, but it's friction. It's how do I launch? It seems like a complex technology. Blah blah blah. So that's why we built like a really simple like landing page builder we have it for now, so you can launch like really in seconds. So we can launch like even on the calls. We also and the way how I see like Momentum, it's like all these like small tools that needed to launch your startup. So for example, you need like Stripe for payments, you need email to send like batch emails, you need blog to write blogs. So that's like a mini products that we will integrate there. So once like some clients come to us, they just have like everything like in one day, like just all the operations started. So that's like, and also one other thing that you probably didn't see is like we have also technical platform called Ship, but it's all we haven't like advertised it, but it's a low-code platform, and I built it like a year ago, and all the Momentum backend it's built on top of it. So I kind of my first customer. So that's like another thing that we want us. And yeah, and I think there are like huge potential in all these tools, but we don't have like enough time to handle all of this. So that's the issue. So if you can help somehow us to direct this to VCs, I think they will like get all like traction and all the stuff, but we just don't like invest enough time into this. And also like Nana is very important part for us for this like transformation. So that's where we experiment with all this like new stuff. And in May, I don't know if you saw, but we had like 22 founders there, and they were building in public every day, again using Momentum. So you see how it's all going in line. They also were using free people from Paralect, so we like made designs and stuff like that. And they pitched in the end of May to judges, and they like selected the best one. And what we want to do, we want to like transition it to the actual fund. So we raise really like a Nana amount, like let's I don't know, like 50K, and we say that it's the price, it's investment, and 20 startups actually compete for this investment. So it's all in public. We force them to publish all these stats. We force them to network. Like so like they share like useful knowledge, so it's becomes more valuable.
It's so interesting. To be frank, so since I got into Twitter, I'm always thinking about how do I actually help people genuinely, right? Like I'm not here there to actually make money. And then more I get traction, more I hear where people struggle, right? My vision idea becomes bigger and bigger. And now I actually have something that I want to do long term. And then it actually aligns very similar to what you do. I might even be your competitor long term, but
let's be a partner.
Because or the partner, because the product, the MVP side project that I'm building for myself, I'm taking a slightly different approach, right? Like I want to be this indie hacker way. At the same time, I come from different backgrounds, so I have a longer term vision for it. And the way I see it is, I want this to be lucrative, like profit generating itself. That's the first goal, of course. But the second is, I actually want to utilize this to build something else to help indie hackers and the public. And my always lifelong goal when I really get old was always thought that I want to be an investor or mentor or run an incubator, because before I got into entrepreneurship, I was actually doing second degree and then doing master's, thinking I was become a professor. I love helping people, teaching people, right? And I feel like I have a pretty good talent based on other people's feedback, not on Twitter, but in real life. Definitely. And I always thought I want to get there when I'm 50 or 60, right? And I did angel invest a bit back in the day, small checks, right? But C is not something that I really like throughout, right? So right now I'm actually thinking, I think there is a way for me to even like start an incubator, 100% online on Discord. But my take is I don't want to go VC route. I actually want to help solopreneurs to build solopreneur businesses. And probably I do need to take some return on that, because again, like it's my time as well. That's the hard part, right? Because with companies, with VCs, they actually incorporated their company. You can take the equity. There's a route. With indie public, building public, there isn't. It's lots of times they didn't even incorporate it, right? So how do I create this structure? But that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking probably I can open up a Discord, do an interview process to pick 5 or 6, 3-month program, and actually handhold them, and then build this community of 5 or 6 companies working together every day, me providing product guidance if I need to invite a CTO or a technical person, right? Like we're going to be there to help you out, really run, right? Give you the right the right steps, because that's what Techstars YC is. I went through them and I know the value and pitfalls of it. So, and I feel like I can do this online with solopreneurs. So that's what I've been cooking in my head. When you reached out to me today, I'm like, okay. And I think what you kind of presented in the Twitter is a lot smaller, a small exercise, which I'm all for.
It's like a free value that will lead to a paid something.
I'm up for it, but it sounds like the direction the Paralect is going is very similar to somewhat what I'm thinking. But you guys are in VC startup and you guys are more tech support or design, right? Whereas I'm thinking more of the mentorship, advisorship, helping with connections, publishing, or driving traffic, which is same as Paralect and what you're doing. And the tool that I want to build should also help every single business that they're trying to build. So I
think we're still in pretty like different positions. So as for like competition, like that you mentioned, because like we really have like our legacy, like all the like people in the company, all the like clients, projects that we support. So we naturally will do some like different things like that will match like our brand and stuff. And it's not that there is like a growing market in this space. So probably it's a new niche, like because actually like a lot of people fired, so they don't have job. Like technology is super accessible, so everyone can learn online. So I think it's probably like a mega trend, right? So it's
I'm making in the solopreneur space because I think this market will grow, right? That's my bet. That's why I'm in it. That's why I started Twitter. That's why I want to build tools that help solopreneurs, right?
Cool. That's true. That's true. So and as you mentioned, like you probably already noticed like this, like few guys like that really like can generate a lot of like revenue fast. Like I was working with like venture-backed startup founders, and they know nothing like about like growing product or building product. Like it's really weird. And I was trained like with these founders, and now I see that a single person can generate, and I say yes, it's possible. I believe this. I can do this myself too. So I think that's it's really a new trend. And we're also like we're building inside the company. We're also like a bit suffering with it because we have this like old specialities like developers, QAs that's probably not needed like in a few months. So we're trying also like to somehow pivot like these roles so they actually like do no code, so everyone should be able to launch their own thing like in the end.
It's awesome. Again, it was half joke being competitor. I think we are looking at the similar direction on which is awesome. And if there's any way to partner or even work together, I'm all up for it, right? Like competition is great, but also partnership is great. But I think, yeah, I would love to stay in touch and keep close to what you and Paralect is doing. I think we can help each other a lot, whether as an actual formal, like an official partner or not, right? Like I think there's a lot of similar things that we are thinking of in terms of direction. So that's awesome.
It's one thing that will really will bring a lot of attention to us if we will discuss everything of it in public. So that's why I wrote this message to you just as a tweet.
100%.
So again, everything. So, it will be naturally like what they doing this, and I already have prepared my audience, and I see that you're doing the right thing, and your audience the same, energized. So it will be a fun thing to do. And also one thing with this Twitter, like I mentioned, to do workshop, but probably we don't need workshop. Probably we just can announce and help in public, like in tweets or something. Do you have some ideas of something some challenges that we can launch, similar to what you did with these reviews, but in collaboration with us,
Oh, that's something we need to think through together. So
but probably we can give some time, and think back the next week or something. But I would love to try.
Yeah, let's try, man. So I love your tweet. I love your profile because I see your voice. You have a voice. You found your character. I'm still struggling to find my character, but where I see where my followers engage the best and find values are when I help them with very specific challenges, right? Like they share the website and I give them very specific insights on their specific business. So however, it's not as scalable, right? Whenever I try to help that, if I can share to the more general public, I try to quote it and then share it as a post. But I also would like to do something a little more fun, like a workshop or even a cohort, right? So as you said, sure, I can, because that's what I've been already doing. I can continue to just help out each and build public and Twitter. But I would love to do something more formal, like as what you originally suggested.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just didn't know that you found it the right thing, but if you found it, that's cool. Because that's also something that we discussed with Dmitry CEO yesterday as a path for our sales. Instead of doing some weird cold outreaches and stuff, do something that will help community, that will help our audience, that will help startups, and it should bring someone to paid to us eventually. Because that's our struggle now to get some paid deals to keep it going.
Right. Where should we start? What's the best value you and I can provide to building public community, product and tech?
Do you think it should be someone who don't have anything, or is it someone who have startup?
So to me, so for my own project, right? I believe in solopreneurship in the aircraft building public, but for my side project, my persona, my target is very specific. I'm planning to target the people who have already tried solopreneurship themselves, miserably failed, but they haven't given up and they want to try again. That's my persona. The reason being is the really first time entrepreneurs, I think it's hard to validate their motivation.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. I can tell how.
And often they don't listen as well. I've personally mentored probably over 100 companies in my life. And that's the thing. If they're not willing to listen and learn, there's nothing we can help with, right?
Yes, that's true.
Someone who has already committed, right, built something and failed means they're a lot more willing to listen or want to learn from. So, and those are the people who's actually willing to commit time or money, right? Because they want to be successful. So I think that's a better targeting. So probably rather than someone who has nothing or just an idea, probably at least someone who has something, right? you're ready.
So probably that should be a question, like share like what project you failed, but you still believe that you could do something like right, so you still believe in this idea. So we will have like people who actually live through this like and into the problem. Okay, that's cool target.
I think they don't have to necessarily fail, but at least they
Yes,
have
probably
they should have
struggle.
already started.
Yes.
2 or 3 months, have a landing page, have I think it's the same criteria as the Paralect I saw, right? You have to have a landing page, you have to have built something, right? Maybe you're building MVP still, right? That's fine, but you gotta do something. You gotta show us that you are actually committed, right?
Yes.
You are willing to do things. So yeah, as
I
long
mean,
as
let me clarify, because probably it's probably you got it. You are smart, but yeah, I exactly got it. What you say, like when you mentor someone, they don't follow steps. It doesn't make any sense, and that's what we also were living through and failing with founders, because like we onboarded founders to Accelerator who like wasn't performing as we wanted to. We wanted to see the data, but it's very hard to get the data. You need to ask, you need to reply. So it's like you have a limited credits to see the data. So it's all sucks, and it wasn't public. So that's how we came to the idea of Nano. So when you join Nano, like you need to build in public every day, and that's the tool to test your like commitment and your grit. So that's how we test it. And I'm no longer like checking everyone. I said that's the rule. You need to build in public. And what it gives to us, we see all the personalities of people. We see how they think. We see what they like, unique traits. Probably someone is funny. Someone is, I don't know, like can be emotional and attract interest. Someone is really like motivated to win, like you said. And it's all becomes visible because of that. They're like forced to be in public. And that's like the systems that we actually believe that it will make like successful entrepreneurs one day.
Yes.
So that's like kind of automated mentorship in some case.
I think we should connect again, because we need some time to think about what kind of things we can do. Here's my take. To be really meaningful, I think, to be honest, it cannot be just a few hours of workshop, right?
Yes.
Like it doesn't work that way. It has to be a period of time, and then probably milestones in between, right?
Yeah,
but
to check.
That may be too much of a project. And also, if we go through this, we do need to select candidates. We cannot just do it for everyone, right?
Definitely.
So that's a challenge, but that's also a way to consider, because we can also share all those learnings publicly, so people who didn't participate can still see it and follow it, right? Or we can still keep it small as a few-hour workshop of to target a very specific challenge, or right? Like, I think one thing I have as an edge is there are so many product people and product managers, but one thing I can assure you that I'm confident is I'm real. Like, I grinded my life through companies. So it's easy to say that MVP should be minimum viable product, but people who really understand deeply, who've done it before, grinded before, made all the mistakes, that's me, right? So I'm pretty good at giving like real advice. Like people who struggle with, hey, I built an MVP, there's no traffic, what do I do with it? People say SEO, but have you actually tried building an SEO with your first landing page? It's so hard. That's not an advice, right? Like I actually have practical advice that I saw work for me, and hundreds of other companies that I mentored actually work. So we can do that as well. Like if you can set, if we can come up with a specific phase of a business that they are challenging with, I can come up with, how I can prepare the challenges or the tips to follow to see the result. We can work on that together. My best proposal would be like this. Right now, I'm still solo, right? I have a vision, but I'm not ready for my, incubator vision or even my MVP, right? However, Paralect is ready, I think. So by doing this, if someone is successful, and I would assume many of solopreneurs still lack in help with development, right? Being a programmer doesn't mean you're good enough, right? There are hundreds of them, but they're slow. They're junior level or intermediate level, right? Like to become true ninja, to be a solopreneur, that takes a lot of effort, right? And it's rare. So I think there is a still opportunity for Paralect to actually help them beyond whatever the workshop we come up with, right? Like
Yes.
just the path of maybe incubate them together or even find funding, like whatever you guys do. So
Yes.
I think it makes more sense if Paralect already knows a common challenge or something that you would like to help. Like I'm more than happy to be a participant to help you guys to come up with that content or workshop and collaborate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that itself helps me a lot to, I guess, build credibility with my Twitter. Like I get all the benefits anyway, right?
Mhm.
So I want to put it out there. I'm fine that if Paralect has a specific agenda of how you guys want to challenge things, I'm more than happy to help.
Nice. Yeah, let's think. And by the way, when you say indie hackers, do you mean it's a developer?
Pardon me?
When you say indie hacker, do you mean it's a developer or like?
Yeah, indie hackers, solopreneurs, building public. I think.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that we figure out that probably our target audience is not an indie hacker, but indie non-hacker, like a non-technical, like founder.
Yes. Because you guys empower them with
the technical stuff, right? Because that's the best match. Like because when we're working with CTO, we rather can consult, like, and say what to do, or we can fire them and replace them. So that's the two effective ways. So that's the thing. So probably we can. And your target is more like technical ones, right?
I don't really care, to be honest.
Okay.
But like, for my specific incubator vision, yeah, they need to be, because if I were to help them and mentor them, right, they need to be able to execute.
Yes.
Right? Like they cannot build marketing hacks, product hacks. Nothing works. You gotta be able to build shit.
Yes.
So so that's good. Our target is different, but for this particular project, what I'm saying is you don't need to consider my target. Like I'm more than happy to help what you guys need. Yeah, your niche.
I just don't need to. I don't know what we need. So let's try to chat. Probably it will work. Like just in public discussion. If people got interested and share ideas, we'll come up with something.
Yeah, definitely. We should utilize our Twitter to ask people.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So super cool to meet you, and really appreciate your support, because it's super helpful. I mean, even with the logo change, like you said, like that it's a cool experiment. It was super helpful because like some people in company are nervous, like because of these experiments, but I really think we need them. And I mean, your support means a lot. Like when I open your profile and saw that you're legit, like builder, founder, it's super helpful, because like non-builders will say you that it sucks. They always like see problems. So
yeah,
thank you. And I really enjoyed this talk. So we need to build something.
Me too. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for the time. And let me know if there's anything I can help with.
Sure. Robert Sturm. I'll meet with Ksenia now. Probably will come up with something.
Yeah, let's keep in touch. I'll give some thoughts on what we can do together as a workshop.
Cool. Thank you very much. By the way, I'm always saying that you're Jay, but what's your?
I'm actually James. I'm James. Sorry,
James.
I'm James.
Okay,
yes.
James. Yeah, okay. I'm Igor.
Go.
Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, by the way, this call was amazing. So I think probably we'll do something as a short podcast.